Hey guys, and welcome to another Broken Out Game video. Today's video is going to be covering points, or the power system that's in place in SINoALICE. So let's get right to it. So we're going to click gear, and you're going to tap edit on the character of your choice, of course. Now, I'm going to show you a trick. I covered this in my video that I just uploaded. But anyways, you're going to hold and click on a weapon, and this is how you see the total points for a weapon. Now notice that it's level 74 out of 120. I did buy all the Vanguard packs. I am being wasteful with my crystals, I understand, but I wanted to do this because I wanted to see what would happen. Don't do this as a free-to-play player. Do not do this. Do not limit break your weapon like this. But anyways, let's get back to it. I wanted to explain how the point system works a little bit from my observation, and I want us to look at the different symbols and what exactly they mean, so we can better understand how these weapon details and how weapons work. Because if you're wondering, for example, why do I have 50,000 points, it has to do with the combination of weapon, armor, and nightmare. Now let's go back to weapon, click and hold. You'll notice it's 3,961. Now each spade means that it can level up. Now this was an SR at base, and you get this from the Vanguard weapon pack. So if I had more spades, it would go higher than L. But we all know that L, or legendary, I'm not sure if L stands for legendary, but that's what I'm going to call it. That is the highest pretty much evolution that we know of in the game, and that's the highest in JP. As far as limit break goes, I believe all pretty much gear, like armor, weapon, nightmare, they all have 4 limit breaks. We can see here the skills, but the most important part is the physical attack, magical attack, physical defense, and magical defense. I believe all of these are added together in order to equate 3,961. So I brought out the handy dandy calculator. We're going to do 1,028 plus 1535 plus 838 plus 560. Bam, 3,961. That's how it works, folks. That's how it works. It's literally calculating all of these stats to give you a point value. Let's go back. Now, notice that that weapon was level 74 and it was a legendary. This weapon right here is level 77. Oops, I didn't click it right? I have to tap and hold. Tap and hold. Alright, so you'll notice that the stats are obviously much higher at level 77, which makes perfect sense. Notice that even though it's not limit broken, it is still higher. Now, it is hard to level your weapons up this high. I will say that I am spending crystals to pretty much do the gorilla event so I can get these stat gains. I don't recommend free-to-play players to do this because this is pretty much monetary gains. What I mean by this is that eventually all of my gear will be power crept, and none of the gear that I'm using will be in full use, but I will still use it in my sub gear, right? So this isn't something that you do as a free-to-play player, get something to legendary and upgrade it to max. That's what I'm trying to pretty much say. I am spending a little. I do admit that, because if you think someone is naturally going up in point values, they are definitely being very smart with their stamina, but the biggest thing is that they are playing longer than you. My account is only 3 days old as of this, as of me playing this account currently, so that is why I have to play catch up using crystals. So if someone jumps from like 1,000 in your guild and they keep jumping higher, it is because they are doing some pulls, and it is because they are doing the gorilla event. The gorilla event and doing some pulls is what gets you much farther. But anyways, let's stop talking about like this math stuff, right? Let's get back to like actual weapons. So you'll notice here that I have a bunch of weapons that are even leveled up, even at A rank. And you're like, okay, why are these 2 A ranks not leveled up? So if I click and hold, or tap and hold, you'll notice that the evolved spade, there's only one. There's only one. Limit breaks is always the same, right? Same thing for this one. Now, let's go to this bowgun right here. It has 2 spades on it. Since it has 2 spades on it, this means it can go up to SR, and that's why I leveled it up, because it has the potential to go up to SR. and I don't feel like pulling anymore, I don't want to try to pull an S, I would much prefer to evolve this into an S versus trying to pull an S, because I don't want to pull until a proper, banner comes up, or a banner that I feel like I'm going to get huge stat gains in. Now, everyone will have their own opinions on pulling and everything. I say if you really want power, then, you're going to pull, and then you're going to pretty much upgrade those weapons. That's the fastest way. But you don't have to do that. As a free-to-play player, I want to say that you can feel somewhat safe, leveling up an A rank weapon and knowing that it has 2 spades on it, so it can go up to a SR at the bare minimum, right? Because SR is pretty much, it's a decent weapon in our current game mode. And if you want to know how to get evolution materials, you're going to go to story, and then you're going to go to events, and then you're going to farm the evolution mysteries, and then you'll know on the left hand side we have the gorilla events. So today is going to be wind and gold, the next day is going to be fire and armor, and then so on and so forth. Also know that the gorilla events, those happen at the same exact time every single day. Every single day, it's always at 4:30 a.m. PST, 11:30 a.m. PST, 3:30 PST, 5:30 PST, 7:30 PST, and then repeat. Alright, so let's go back to gear. Now, in edit, I want to look at armors now. So I have one at S, one at A, and one at B. Now, when you upgrade these armors, just know that pretty much it's only calculating physical defense and magical defense. And notice that there's 2 spades. This is the base armor that we get, the red, or the maiden armor that we get. This used to be red, right? Now it's black. And the reason being is because I upgraded it to S. Now, I don't recommend doing this as a free-to-play player still. You can do it if you want to. It's just that know that this maiden gear is not the greatest. It's not the greatest. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to go to armor. And then I'm going to change this filter right here. Change it to B, and then base, and then take out the A, right? I'll click out. And now we can see, let's sort it by the highest physical defense, or the highest total. And now you can see that the maiden stuff is the same as the virgin stuff, right? It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. Watch when I upgrade it. I'm going to do filters. I'm going to do upgraded. And now it's no longer at the highest. Now it's at somewhat the lowest. It's not that low. It's still decent, right? In total point value. The biggest thing that I wanted to point out is that these are very, very short-term gains, right? These are very, very short-term gains. So if you're wondering, is it worth it at the long run? No. You can get it. You can put it into sub-gear, but I really wanted to point that out. And we already know how the point system works. You pretty much just add it up together. But for the sake of it, let's add this one up together. So it's let me find my handy dandy calculator and clear this. So 1293 plus 862 equal 2155. There you go, folks. There you go. Alright, let's go to nightmares. Now, nightmares have they have the same exact, pretty much calculation for points, right? They have the same exact calculation. It's just that they have pretty much the same stats as a SR or L weapon. Now, I don't think it's going to be very easy to evolve nightmares. I believe the biggest boon to nightmares is the fact that they essentially have skills. Now, let's add these up together and let's see what we get. Let's clear this. 1197 plus 517 plus 950 plus 948. We should be getting, bam, that exact same total. Now, I do think nightmares are worth it, not fully because of the stats, but mainly because of the skills, because the skills that they provide are just absolutely tremendous, especially in Coliseum, especially in story mode. When you're having a hard time pushing a certain story mode and you have the correct weapons/skills to leverage, then it works out perfectly and you can pretty much one-shot the boss with certain weapons. Now, the biggest thing that I wanted to say is that evolving nightmares is very difficult. I don't think there's currently events that will allow us to evolve them. And if you're wondering why certain S rank nightmares are not as highly valued, you can just see it based on sort. This one is 518, this snake at A rank. But look at this S rank, which is actually really good. You can get this from story. It's only at 402, and that's based off of the base stats it has. And I limit broke this one, which means I had more than one. So it's really weird how some of the A ranks are currently stronger than the S ranks. But the thing is these free S ranks that you can get from story, let me go back, their skills are much better. Their skills are really good. This Cry of Damned is really good. This pretty much says no to freeze golem by greatly reducing water skills. It's really great. If you want to know where to get it, you're going to go to story, and then I believe you can get it from Kaguya's story. No, it's not Kaguya. I lied. I know you can at least get it in chapter 5, but that's not realistic for most folks, you know what I mean? It's right here on chapter 5-3. Chapter 5 is by far the hardest stage, but you can get this nightmare for free right here. I'm not sure about the drop percentage rate, but anyways, this video was mainly geared at talking about the weapons, armors, and nightmares, no pun intended there, and how the points are essentially calculated. It is literally a brute force addition of all of these stats that you get. And in my opinion, like I said, upgrade gear at your discretion. Do not upgrade A ranks that don't go up to SR at the bare minimum. But don't be afraid to upgrade your A ranked weapons. Now, the thing is an A rank weapon, or this is an S rank weapon that I upgraded. I evolved it, and it can go up to SR. I want to compare the stats really quick before I end the video. It's at 621 points, right? No, this is a natural S rank. It's at 1908. I just want to digress that a natural weapon, like a weapon that is naturally at that rank, will never actually surpass, like this original A rank will never surpass this weapon when it's at SR. That's all I wanted to say. It's going to be easier to limit break this weapon, and just know that all of the weapons we are currently using, it will be power crept. Alright? Anyways, that's it for this guide. This is how points work. This is how weapons work. If you're wondering how everyone has so many points, they're just pumping those weapon and armor EXP events into their gear. So, if you want to do that, feel free to do so. I'll have the event timer in the description below. Watch me clicking there and messing up a little. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.